Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. This story has it all. Christmas, cats, Roomba, crazy family dynamics, a huge fight, and did I mention cats knocking over cups? I really enjoyed recording this story and I hope that you enjoy it too. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Anyhows, on to the story. My husband has a very large family. In total, I think his father has around 8 brothers and sisters. They all got married and had 2 to 6 children each. Now, all their children are grown up and starting families as well. We're looking at easily, I believe, 15 children in the family as of right now. We all get together for Christmas every year at his grandparents' house. Sounds great, right? Right. Normally, after Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving, which they also get together for, we pick names for the children's gift swap. There's also a men and women's gift swap, which my husband and I, who do not have children, join in on. Now, to give you an idea of how the gifting has been the last 10 years, husband and I would buy gifts for his parents, his brother and wife, and their 4 kids. Great. Awesome. Works fine. Last year, they said that they would rather just bought gifts for the kids. So we did. The same thing that we'd always gotten them. Books at their reading level, PJs, and puzzles of some kind. They were upset, but we couldn't place why. We also didn't get any gifts at all, which we didn't comment on, but my husband admitted that he was a bit hurt to get nothing from his parents versus his brother and sister-in-law getting gifts. I'm not a super social person, so I spent most of Thanksgiving reading a book and watching one of the youngest cousins sleep. Eventually, we all gathered up so that the kids could draw names of their cousins for the gift swap. They finished that up and then the husband's brother, who we'll call Timmy, says, "And Uncle Husband will buy all the kids a gift too." Cue my husband and I giving him a look of the F and FU. We laughed and said, "Oh no, ha ha ha, we'll just be bringing the candy again this year." His brother then started in that we should buy all of the children's gifts, since we have none, and that it wasn't very Christian of us to not bless the children with our good fortune. My husband at this point pulled him aside into the kitchen and told him that he wasn't buying all of the cousins' gifts, and that if he wanted to, he was welcome to. They started to argue and Timmy yelled that we shouldn't come to Christmas anymore. I handed over the baby. We left, said that we'd email them about it later when it all calmed down enough to talk like adults. I'd just like someone else's point of view. My husband is really upset, and his parents are agreeing with Timmy that we should be giving more gifts since we have no one to buy them for but kids now. He threw the fact that we get no gifts from anyone at them, and they said that we were adults now and Christmas is for kids. He pointed out that they gifted Timmy and his wife's things, but they said that we'd already bought it, might as well. But I've been shopping with his mother and she bought gifts for Timmy's wife a candy again this year already. I'm frustrated and feel like no one is handling any of this well, and I want to step in and help my husband, but I want someone else to look at this mess before I do anything other than listen and offer suggestions of using "I feel X when you X" to his parents. OP then added, "I've replied to some comments. I showed my husband the thread and sent email. I haven't been answering phone calls from them. I asked them to please just read and reply via email so that we have time to think and respond calmly. I got a lot of nasty voicemails for it. Going to let them simmer some more and keep ignoring their calls since they keep yelling." Thanks for everyone who came and tossed in their 2 cents. It was wonderful to hear from other people without having to worry if they would repeat my chatter to the other party involved. So I'm not 100% sure where I should start. I'm about 3 drinks in, just to calm myself. For one, I did show my husband the post after we talked. I brought up Thanksgiving Day 2015 and asked him if he wanted some more input than I normally give on his family drama. He said yes. I pointed out the favoritism to his brother over him in almost anything. I made a list showing times when it has happened where they and he were fully in the wrong just to prove the point. We went over the text from his brother, sister-in-law, mother, father, aunt, and cousin, just to recap the name. The brother is Timmy, the sister-in-law is Candy, the mother is Rhonda, father is Keith, aunt is Kira, cousin is Ben, and my husband is Todd. This is shorter than husband, I'm lazy. So, the day I posted, after we went over the texts, which started after we missed their calls and went up until we sent the email, all just spiteful stuff about how we wasted our money, time, and life volunteering and don't spend enough time with their children, cousins' children, and family anymore. It started off with telling Todd he was being a candy-ass bee who is whipped by his cold harpy child-hating wife, and just degraded from there. Todd only sent back a few saying that he'd email him about it and asking him to not talk about me. So we sent the email here, which is basically what I sent after some editing. Todd sent it as if it was just from him. We almost added in his parents but decided that we just forward it to them if it really got out of hand. No problem, Timmy did it for him. This is the email. Tim, I'm sending you an email so that we can talk about what happened on Thanksgiving. I think this would be better for us both since, when we are heated, we say things rashly. You didn't give me much time to really think about it, so here it goes. I don't understand why you volunteered us to buy gifts. We are happy to buy gifts for your children as we have every year. Is there something going on? Is someone having financial problems? While we have gladly helped anyone who asked, as we have before, you should recall Kathy and Kiki 2 years ago. You helped too. Being set up in front of young children was rude. Not to mention you telling us we weren't allowed at Christmas anymore. The texts and angry voicemails were also uncalled for. Please take some time and get back to me. I hope we can work this out as our family is very important to us. Todd. Yes, well, that went over about as well as water on a grease fire. For one, Timmy forwarded this email to Rhonda and Keith, Kira, and Ben. This was rude, but we were going to do the same thing either way. Ben sent us an email letting us know what Timmy did, and he said that he was sorry he wasn't there to jump in, but would try and talk to Timmy. Timmy and Ben are actually really close, so it was nice to see that he thought that Timmy was being unreasonable as well, since they were normally very close and like-minded. I'm not going to put his email here. I'm just going to highlight what he said and then tell you what Keith and Rhonda said in their email and visit. 1. I'm a cold, child-hating harpy and I sleep around. 2. I'm an atheist or Muslim or something. He never really picked. 3. I'm dragging Todd from the church and his family. 4. We don't spend any time at all with the family anymore. 5. We never spend any time with our nibblings. 6. We're wasting our life, time, and money volunteering with animals. 7. Helping and wanting to help refugees was un-American, and this is my fault since I'm first-generation American and don't understand what it means to be one or deserve to live here. 8. I'm rude and never talk to them unless it's about animal rescue or animal rights. Yeah, so, at this point we're kind of laughing and kinda crying and kinda shocked. We spent the rest of the day cleaning up our house and talking about what we wanted to do and reply back. We hadn't checked our email and we'd stuck our phones on vibrate and were just trying to enjoy our day off together. They're pretty rare, sadly. So, surprise, his parents drove all the way out to talk to us. I say talk, but it was more like being talked at. They asked me to leave so that they could talk to Todd about his quote-unquote actions and rude email. Todd said no, said that I was his family and his wife and we were handling this together. They then tried to convince us that we had said F in front of the family. We didn't. They also tried to convince us that we had mentioned buying gifts for everyone before, that we didn't love Jesus anymore since we hadn't been going to church, and some of what Timmy has sent in his email too. When his father started to insult me and then in turn my father, Todd was done. He stood up and said, "Thank you for coming to visit us in our home for the first time, but we have errands to run and you need to leave now." They refused. He told them that they had to go now or he'd call the police. They left. He cried. I cried. Our cats knocked over their cups. We ended up calling my dad and telling him everything, as well as showing him both emails. He told us that they had talked badly about me and us to him before. "You should be able to fix your child still. We're still working on ours," was something he told us had been said. We decided we aren't going to their Christmas either. I told Todd I can't go back there again, nor can I look at any of them the same. I knew that they'd always not liked me as much as some of the other daughters-in-laws, but I didn't know that it was to that extent. They've always been nice and polite to my face, invited and included me in all of the events. No one had ever said anything to Todd either. As it stands, I'm waiting for my dad and brother to get into town, and then we're going to sit down and decide what we would like to do. Todd said that he wants it to be small and doesn't mind where Christmas happens, and said that he felt closer to my dad and brother anyway. We told Ben what happened and shipped his gifts to him. I haven't decided yet what I will do with the Nibblings gifts, but I've already donated all of the adult gifts. I'd also like to add that I'm not of another ethnicity. My father is German and moved to the US when he was 20 to marry my mother. So I'm a pasty white chick, but I guess since my dad isn't an American, that's bad. I wish that this update was, we all made up and Christmas will be so great. But it's not. Yesterday we had a small Christmas party with some friends since we will be leaving the 24th for a holiday. Myself, Todd, Dad, and brother, who I will name Theo. My friend Sandy grew up near me. We've been friends for years, and she became friends with Timmy and his wife too. They are friends together on Facebook. We had told her that there was a stiff, but didn't elaborate to not damage their friendship. Big mistake. Since she tagged us in her woohoo, look at my gift, QQ, my friend is leaving me for Christmas post. The photo is of the two of us drinking while dancing around her new Roomba. I will note, this isn't just for her Christmas, it's for her Christmas, birthday, and her wedding, as well as a new housewarming gift. Her and her soon-to-be husband Bill just bought a new townhouse near us. I normally wouldn't buy something that expensive just for Christmas. So, Timmy saw the post. Not only did he take offense to us drinking, none of them drink and are against drinking, he really flipped his lid about her getting a Roomba. He lost his crap in the comments and then showed up at our apartment. I was in the shower when Timmy showed up. I heard someone knocking on the door, which had to be pretty loud to hear it all the way in the main bathroom shower. I finished the shower around midway through Todd and Tim fighting. Todd said that he was beating the door down. He opened the door and refused to let Timmy in any further than the hallway. Tim was yelling at him about the gift, about his lack of church going, about us going out of town, demanding his kids' gifts. I ended up donating them, and asked where we got off buying such a pricey gift for someone who isn't related and being selfish a-holes about gifting other children. So around this point, I come out of the shower after putting on PJs. It's nearly 1 AM now. I come out to see Timmy. I'm kinda shocked. Todd tells Tim it's late and that we can talk about it when he gets back from the holidays with the pastor. He pushes Todd. Todd falls back onto the wall, putting a dent into it. This woke my dad and Theo. I moved in front of Theo since Tim was pulling back to hit him. He hit me, knocking me down on top of Todd. Dad and Theo restrained him. Our next door neighbor was woken up and called 911. The cops showed up, separated all of us. We told them what had happened, didn't tell them about the other problems, shortened it up to there had been a Christmas disagreement. They also called an ambulance since Todd cut his arm on a dish that broke and my face was quickly turning purple. The EMS showed up, they knew Todd, and were very upset about him and I being hurt. The cops asked us if we wanted to press charges. I started to say no, but Todd said yes. So Tim was arrested. We went to the ER since Todd needed some stitches. Our phones have been blowing up ever since. I turned mine off after I told Sandy that she needed to not let Tim and Candy see any posts about us since they are pissed at us. She said okay. I went through and unfriended, grouped anyone who was also friends with any in-laws' families into a restricted group so that they can't see anything we're up to again. I hope. Rhonda and Keith have been blowing up Todd's phone. He's only answered them in text with what happened, that we would not drop any charges or pay his bail, and to stop contacting us at all. Between the last update and this one, we had talked to some of the other family members and they all said that they disagreed with Timmy. His grandparents said that they did too, but that they couldn't host Christmas and couldn't stop him from uninviting us. They said that they would talk to him and we were like, okay, cool, maybe by next year we can be friends again. That isn't the case anymore. At all. There is no coming back from this. We'll be filing a restraining order when we get home. Todd is talking about us moving out to our home state. Dad and Theo think that this is a good idea. Dad is annoyed that I wouldn't let him hit Tim, so he's sulking a bit. But I think it's more that he's upset that we have lost another family basically. So yeah. I get to enjoy my trip with a black eye and cheek. Todd has a 4-inch gash on his arm. Dad is sulking and Theo is happy since he's smoking pot, so A+ Christmas. So guys, what did you think? I was not expecting OP's brother-in-law, Tim, to lose his mind over a Roomba. One of the commenters made a really good point, and that's regarding conformity. It looks like OP and her husband didn't conform to the family dynamics, which involves having kids and I'm assuming paying for each other's gifts. I don't know. But because of the non-conformity, I think what happened is that OP's husband's family started maybe gossiping amongst each other about OP and her husband, and I think that might have exploded into this whole argument. I understand that racial biases can be an underlying factor, but I do think that this commenter had a point about this. Anyhow, I do hope that you enjoyed this story. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you'd like to hear more stories from Reddit with updates.